Picking up from where we left off, Xiao Yan and Yuewen embarked on an adventure into the ancient ruins, hoping to stumble upon some fortuitous discoveries. Yuewen mentioned that the magical Beast Mountain Range outside Qing City, also known as the Ice Snow Mountain Range, appeared to be the most majestic and imposing range Xiao Yan had encountered in his years of travel, surpassing even the magical Beast Mountain Range of the former Gamma Empire. A dense mist shrouded much of the range, making it nearly impossible to see what lay within, and the mist seemed to contain an immensely vast energy. Under this tremendous force, even Xiao Yan felt a chill in his heart. No wonder no one dared to fly into it from above. The aerial route was literally a death trap. Standing high above, Xiao Yan gazed down at the entrance to the mountain range, looking at the nearly dense sea of dark figures below. The scalp-tingling sight, though tempting with the promise of great fortune, was still shocking due to the vast crowd. Gaining that pitifully small opportunity amidst countless others seemed an immensely daunting task. With a wry smile, Xiao Yan, along with Yuewen and little E on his shoulder, chose a secluded spot to descend. In a few blinks, they appeared on the treetop outside the Ice Snow Mountain Range, scanning the surroundings. It seemed that many had already taken their positions, seated cross-legged on the treetops. Due to the year-round envelopment of cloud and mist, and the presence of numerous powerful magical beasts, there were only 3 safe entry points into the Ice Snow Mountain Range. Xiao Yan was now at one of these entrances, which was already swarmed by a sea of people. As Xiao Yan sighed at the grand scene before him, a clear and loud crane cry suddenly echoed from the distant sky, instantly drawing countless gazes. Xiao Yan followed their looks and saw a gigantic crane enveloped in 7-colored energy, swiftly flapping its wings toward one of the 3 entrances of the Ice Snow Mountain Range. The sunlight reflecting off its colorful feathers created a dazzling display of brilliance. The energy sealing the entrance is finally weakening? Xiao Yan noted, watching the energy storm at the entrance gradually subside. The subsequent time was spent in the usual waiting, which after nearly 3 days, saw a sudden surge in the energy of the heavens and earth. The moment the terrestrial energy began to shift, Xiao Yan, who had been meditating atop a tree, suddenly opened his eyes, a unique brilliance flashing through them. "Is it finally about to begin?" he murmured. The cloud-entwined mountain range, at this moment, resembled an ancient beast about to awaken. A series of deep, thunderous roars echoed from the high skies, accompanied by a vast sound that seemed to cover the heavens and earth. As this booming sound emerged, it was followed by a rushing energy tide that even sounded like waves crashing. A spectacle that left many in awe, a reminder of the endless wonders of nature. The massive energy tide, as it surged, eventually burst forth from the clouds, rushing out loudly, startling several figures in the sky to swiftly dodge downward. If one were to be swept up in that terrifying energy tide, even a Do-D strong enough might not die but would surely lose a layer of skin. The tremendous energy tide, bursting forth in vibrant, multicolored hues, resembled a vast, multicolored river suspended in the sky under the sunlight, an incredibly stunning sight. Yet beneath this beautiful facade lay a deadly peril. Wave after wave of massive multicolored energy surged continuously from within the mountain range. At this moment, many could feel the energy inside the Ice Snow Mountain Range becoming increasingly wild and robust, as if the range had transformed into a magnet, drawing nearby energies toward it. Faced with such a spectacular scene, even Xiao Yan couldn't help but feel astounded. With his extraordinary soul perception, he could sense just how terrifying the energy within the multicolored tides had become. Truly worthy of the Do-D continent of the upper dimension, he laughed lightly, standing up and gazing towards the Ice Snow Mountain Range. The energy within the range had reached a level so powerful it was awe-inspiring. Here, cultivation, albeit brief, would yield twice the result with half the effort. No wonder, despite knowing the great opportunity was out of reach, so many were still drawn here, presumably planning to cultivate within the range during this time. Shifting his gaze from the mountain range, Xiao Yan's eyes finally rested on the entrance where the vast sea of people had begun to stir restlessly. Being the first to enter always had its special benefits, and it was no different for the Ice Snow Mountain Range. The first to enter would likely reap the best rewards. Hence, everyone wanted to be that luckiest first. Looking at the sea of people, Xiao Yan gave a slight smile, a hint of eagerness in his eyes. This battle for the great opportunity was turning out to be more intriguing than he had expected, and he too wanted to test himself against the youth of Qing City nearby on the Xinling continent. How far could they truly go? And just how wide was the gap between them? As Xiao Yan's thoughts raced, a cacophony of loud footsteps and shouts suddenly erupted, and he saw the massive sea of people suddenly roar into action, flooding into the mountain range like a frenzied stream. "Yu, stick close to me as we enter the ruins," Xiao Yan said gravely. "We'll head to your destination first. As for the opportunity, there's no rush. This great chance, while hugely tempting, also carries a deadly threat." Yu, aware of Xiao Yan's intentions, nodded slightly, touched by his concern, and replied, "I'll follow your lead." At that moment, the entire vicinity of the ice-snow mountain range erupted into chaos, for everyone knew that if you were too late to the so-called Great Transformation, it would be gone. Heaven and hell, the tremendous opportunity was right before their eyes, and perhaps it even held the irresistible allure of the Xinling royal family. How could anyone present not be moved by it? Within the ice-snow mountain range, the temperature was low, and the dense mist mixed with slightly wild energy greatly limited visibility. Silently, two figures broke through the forest and darted forward, landing lightly, revealing a young face. It was Xiao Yan. "We'll go this way." "Xiao Yan," Yu directed, and Xiao Yan and Little E turned to follow her. The priority now was to head to the location Yu had mentioned, without rushing for the greater opportunity. "What exactly are you looking for on this trip, Miss Yu?" Xiao Yan asked curiously. Although Yuru's father had mentioned she was entering the ruins to find something, he still did not know what it was. "I'm looking for the crescent jade fruit," Yu said through gritted teeth. "The crescent jade fruit?" Xiao Yan frowned. "My father spent a lot of money to gather intelligence that this ruin holds not only the legacies left by a predecessor but also many treasures, including the Emperor-class magic core that you need. The Yu family has had a tradition for generations. We're just missing this crucial medicinal primer, the crescent jade fruit." Yu bit her lip lightly, explaining to Xiao Yan. Although her father had repeatedly instructed her not to tell Xiao Yan, he had saved her father's life, and she had no intention of keeping secrets from him. "The crescent jade fruit? That's a fine item indeed, young man. Besides some celestial treasures, there are special medicines whose effects include receiving legacies or breaking seals, which we call medicinal primers. This crescent jade fruit is indeed a valuable item, representing the moon. It seems this young lady Yu has quite a background behind her. Otherwise, such an ancient tradition wouldn't fall to her." The voice of the Golden Dragon King sounded from inside the ring. As they ventured deeper into the forked path, following the map's guidance into a mountain range, the information indicated that the crescent jade fruit was hidden within. It seemed that someone had already been ahead of them, swiftly clearing away some ferocious magical beasts. "Truly, the outstanding youths within 100 miles of Qing City do have some skills," Xiao Yan noted as he landed, casting a glance ahead and chuckling to himself. He then surveyed his surroundings, his brow furrowing at the dense energy mist. Navigating through this vast mountain range to reach the deep location of the crescent jade fruit would be no small feat. "Don't worry, follow them and let them lead the way," Xiao Yan reassured Yu, noticing her concern. "Okay," Yu replied, knowing that overthinking was futile. She immediately concealed her aura, ready to move at the right moment with Xiao Yan. As Xiao Yan frowned, a graceful, colorful shadow also descended into the mountain range. Her beautiful eyes scanned the area and immediately fixed on a figure not far ahead. Sensing the slight movement behind him, Xiao Yan did not turn back, but instead sped directly towards the interior of the mountain range. "Stop!" A woman in a colorful dress coldly shouted as she saw Xiao Yan leave. Ignoring her shout, Xiao Yan's steps only quickened. As he sped up, a whooshing sound suddenly came from behind him. Xiao Yan's expression turned frosty, and he deftly stepped aside. A colorful ribbon, carrying a fierce gust, shot past his head and went straight through a giant tree in front. The colorful ribbon, though appearing to be made of cloth, had a metallic sheen, clearly not an ordinary item. Seeing Xiao Yan skillfully dodge her attack, the woman in the colorful dress flashed a look of surprise in her eyes. She flicked her wrist, and another colorful ribbon shot out from her sleeve like a venomous snake, twisting through the air and aiming directly at Xiao Yan. Frustrated by the woman's relentless attacks, Xiao Yan suddenly turned around. His arm shot out like lightning, grabbing the incoming ribbon. Milky white flames emerged from his palm and ran along the ribbon, transforming into a fiery streak heading straight for her. The woman's face turned cold as a powerful do qi, a fusion of azure and silver resembling a blend of storm and thunder, shot out along the ribbon, clashing fiercely with the fiery streak. Boom! A deep explosion erupted in the quiet mountain range, and the shockwaves from the powerful forces dispersed much of the dense fog around them, creating a half-meter-deep crater on the ground. By now, many people had started entering the mountain range. Hearing the commotion, they hurried over. Upon recognizing that the person causing the disturbance was the famed Miss Feng Yi, they were all shocked and then turned their surprised gazes to the unfamiliar man opposing her, realizing that anyone who could spar with her was no ordinary individual. Wind and thunder fused do qi? Miss Feng Yi's reputation is indeed well-deserved, Xiao Yan said, his gaze intently fixed on the woman in the colorful dress. He hadn't expected that this woman would possess a dual-element constitution. Such constitutions might not be as rare as a calamity poison body, but they were still quite uncommon. Speaking of which, Xiao Yan himself could be considered to have a dual-element constitution, fire and wood, though predominantly fire, with only a trace of wood, which is typical for an alchemist because it's a necessary condition. A dual-element constitution is generally not ideal for cultivation due to its impurity. Xiao Yan was an exception since he only had a trace of wood energy, but this woman not only cultivated both elements to such a level, but also perfectly fused them, significantly increasing their power. Breaking through my attack, you're quite formidable too, the woman in the colorful dress said, her beautiful eyes intently staring at the lean young man in front of her. She suddenly smiled, extending her flawless, white hand gently and said, "It's good to make friends when you're out and about. Let's be friends. My name is Feng Yi." At her words, the surrounding crowd was utterly astounded. They clearly understood that the young lady from Fenglei City was notoriously proud and reserved, yet here she was, extending her hand to a stranger. "Hello, Xiao Yan." Xiao Yan also extended his hand to the woman in front of him, and they shook hands firmly, a smile emerging on both of their faces. An Emperor Realm soul, indeed not mistaken. Likewise, Miss Feng Yi, your Emperor Realm soul is also formidable. After speaking, they simultaneously released their hands. "Let's go, Yuru," Xiao Yan then called to Yuru by his side. It's rare to meet someone interesting, but it seems his soul power might be even stronger than mine. However, to be my man, just having strong soul power isn't enough. Let's follow them. I want to see why they're passing up a great opportunity to go somewhere else, the woman in the colorful dress said. But miss, the family head had instructed before coming out that we should prioritize the opportunity. I'll say it again. Follow them. The woman in the colorful dress frowned slightly, and then quickly followed Xiao Yan and the others. Entering deeper into the mountain range, they suddenly discovered a lake with a small island in the middle, on which stood a crystal-clear plant, towering elegantly and emitting a delightful fragrance. That must be the place, right? Yes. As Xiao Yan and Yuru advanced through the mountain range, they noticed fewer and fewer people around. This mist is poisonous. Xiao Yan quickly realized why fewer people ventured deeper. It was due to the mist. Here. Xiao Yan handed Yuru a pill, then fully unleashed his Emperor Realm soul power, carefully probing the lake. Generally, places harboring celestial treasures are guarded, so caution is always best. How could there be nothing? Xiao Yan muttered to himself, then heavily instructed Yuru before heading straight for the island in the lake. His body, like a fish, broke through the clear waters. Glancing at the milky white flames around his body, he couldn't help but swallow. Under the strange warmth emitted by little E, the surrounding water began to boil, bubbling with milky white bubbles. Thin streams of deep purple liquid, barely visible to the naked eye, slowly emerged. However, as these deep purple liquids were about to touch the milky white flames, they were frozen by little into extremely fine ice strands, then slowly fell to the bottom of the lake. Seeing the purple ice strands constantly emerging around him, Xiao Yan's scalp tingled, not expecting this seemingly calm lake to secretly harbor so much deadly poison. Let's hurry. This poison is extremely potent. Although the heavenly flames protect us from it entering our bodies, it's consuming too much of my soul power. Xiao Yan's grave voice suddenly echoed in Yuru's mind amidst her amazement. Yes. She nodded hastily, then followed Xiao Yan as they both kicked their feet, their heads breaking the surface of the water. Taking a breath, they paddled swiftly towards the island in the center of the lake. Watching the water outline her shapely figure due to her wet clothes, even Xiao Yan couldn't help but gulp. The curves under her small cherry lips stood out sharply, the thin silk clinging tightly to her flawless skin, casting an alluring taste. They were almost at the center of the lake when just as Xiao Yan was about to breathe a sigh of relief, the calm surface of the water suddenly exploded with a massive splash. Caught off guard by the sudden disturbance, Xiao Yan tensed up, staring intently at the spot where the water burst forth. In an instant, his pupils dilated. As the water splashed down, a giant snake covered in emerald scales, its head triangular, burst forth from the depths of the lake. It then opened its fearsome jaws wide, viciously snapping at Xiao Yan, its diamond-shaped pupils filled with wild ferocity. 3,000 thunder illusions. Just as the ferocious giant snake was about to strike Xiao Yan, a figure as quick as lightning flashed past, causing the snake to miss its target. Illusory golden demon python, came the surprised voice of the golden dragon king from within the ring. Ancestor, what is that? Xiao Yan, feeling a strange force from the python's attack, asked. The illusory golden demon python is known for its powerful soul strength. Its most formidable power isn't physical nor traditional strength, but rather its soul power. The illusory golden demon python has such a profound mastery over soul power that it can create perfect illusions that make one fall into a deep sleep, unwilling to awaken. That is what makes it truly terrifying. Fortunately, your soul power is also strong, and you have the protection of the heavenly flames, so it can't harm you much. The wild factor of the heavenly flames is naturally the nemesis of these dark attribute serpents. You should see that the others have already fallen into its illusions. The golden dragon king observed the fierce snake. I'll hold it off. You go get the crescent jade fruit. Xiao Yan gritted his teeth and said to Yuru. Though the illusory golden demon python was comparable to a 4-star Do-D, battling it with the aid of his heavenly flames wasn't difficult, he reassured Yuru. His figure surged violently towards the island. Behind him, several loud splashes erupted as the snake's attacks missed, creating a powerful force. Xiao Yan wasn't overly concerned about the fierce energy following him. Using the momentum, he dodged several attacks from the giant snake. When he was only about 10 meters from the island, he glanced back and saw the giant snake with its ferocious mouth open, chasing him through the water. With a slight cold smile, Xiao Yan flicked his storage ring, and a plank fell into the water. Just before the lake's poisonous liquid could corrode it, Xiao Yan tapped his foot on it, sinking slightly, then shot forward again. Moments later, he finally reached the island. His body flipped in the air, and he landed steadily with his palms pressed against the ground. Stepping on the island, Xiao Yan looked back and noticed that from about 10 meters away from the island, the fearsome snake seemed wary and did not dare to advance further. It swayed its tail just outside the island, flicking its scarlet tongue and staring menacingly at Xiao Yan, continuously circling nearby. Seeing the lake gradually calm down and the snake still guarding outside the island, Xiao Yan finally breathed a sigh of relief. Turning around, he surveyed the small island, which was not very large but lush with bamboo and various flowers and plants, vibrant and quite beautiful. Did you find it? Yuru. Xiao Yan, having just escaped the snake, quickly asked as he stepped onto the island. This? Yuru stared at the translucent small tree with several spherical fruits, falling into deep thought. According to the information her father had given her, the crescent jade fruit shouldn't look like this. Could it be that the crescent jade fruit had mutated due to the environment? Thank you both for leading the way. A sinister laugh came from the void just as Yuewen was lost in thought, and all the fruits from the small tree were taken in an instant. Looking closely, beneath the veil on the cheek, a pale, bloodless young face appeared, his eyes gray and surrounded by an aura of death that was chilling. "Goodbye, until we meet again," the figure said, then disappeared like a specter from the island. Just as Xiao Yan spotted the mysterious person and felt a powerful strength, he was about to act with the ancient ruler of heavenly flames, but Yuewen gently held him back. That person didn't take the crescent jade fruit. Xiao Yan was startled, then looked at Yuewen. "I think the real crescent jade fruit might still be in this lake," Yuewen speculated thoughtfully. "Ancestor, what do we do now?" Xiao Yan asked anxiously. "Oh, your blood. Take a drop of your blood and throw it at the illusory golden demon python. Quick!" Came the urgent voice of the golden dragon king from inside the ring. Xiao Yan, without hesitation, bit his finger and threw a drop of crimson blood at the illusory golden demon python. The moment the python sensed Xiao Yan's blood, it seemed as if its entire bloodstream had frozen. Seven-colored sky-devouring python. The illusory golden demon python submitted to Xiao Yan, sensing the presence of the mighty lineage within him. The seven-colored sky-devouring python is one of the most powerful serpent clans, and the illusory golden demon python dared not act rashly. In the world of magical beasts, bloodline dominance is profound. Hence, knowing that Xiao Yan carried the blood of the seven-colored sky-devouring lineage, the illusory golden demon python's pupils widened, and it behaved with utmost respect towards him. Seeing the python's behavior, Xiao Yan commanded, "Lead us to the crescent jade fruit." The giant snake responded with a hissing sound, seemingly indicating to follow it, and then plunged into the lake, suggesting there was something beneath the lake surface. Xiao Yan floated in the icy cold lake, his face full of amazement as he observed the slowly swirling dark brown currents around him. A large bubble emerged beside him and burst with a loud pop, splashing some water onto Xiao Yan's face. However, it was instantly absorbed by the milky white flames enveloping him. Why would there be such intense heat inside the bubble? Could there be a world beneath the lake? Xiao Yan muttered to himself as he watched the snake dive into the lake. "Yuewen, wait here for me on the surface. I'll follow it down to sea." Without hesitation, protected by the milky white flames, Xiao Yan dove into the lake just like the giant snake. "Be careful. Safety first." Yuewen's voice echoed across the lake surface. Watching the snake stir ripples across the lake, Xiao Yan exhaled softly, then plunged into the waters, closely following the fire spirit snake. Upon entering the lake, an icy sensation enveloped him, but he summoned the heavenly flames for protection, which isolated him from the external water pressure and cold. His palms, through the barrier of the flames, easily scooped up some of the dark brown water, letting it trickle down between his fingers. Xiao Yan marveled at the intense coldness up close, knowing that if the flame's protective shield were to suddenly vanish, his fate would be sealed. The thought of being frozen into a statue made Xiao Yan shudder violently, his face turning slightly pale. "We better hurry, big guy," Xiao Yan urged the giant snake as they dived deeper into the lake. However, the deeper they went, the greater the water pressure and the thinner the air became, causing Xiao Yan to frown slightly at the giant snake ahead. The illusory golden demon python seemed to understand Xiao Yan's urgency and increased its speed dramatically, dashing towards the lake bed. Although the heavenly flames provided temporary protection, they consumed a significant amount of soul power. Without the energy to sustain them, he wouldn't just be engulfed by the currents, but crushed into ashes instantly. So, there was no time to waste. Before his soul energy was depleted, he had to leave this magma-like lake, or else the envisioned ice sculpture might become a reality. As the snake pressed forward, Xiao Yan quickly calculated his options. Xiao Yan's lips twitched a few times as he earnestly turned back to look at the approaching giant, twin-headed fire spirit snake and laughed. "Big guy, a little faster. 1,000 meters, 2,000 meters, 3,000 meters. Xiao Yan gradually began to struggle with breathing. Normally, diving to 2,000 meters would be challenging for anyone, and Xiao Yan's descent to 3,000 meters was a testament to his robust physical condition and strength. Damn! How are we not there yet? Xiao Yan cursed as he watched the still-diving snake. 3,000 meters was approaching the human limit. Any deeper was a forbidden zone for life, as it lay beyond human comprehension and could harbor unknown dangers. Xiao Yan couldn't help but frown slightly. 3,100 meters. The descent slowed under the oppressive pressure of the lakebed currents. Damn! 5 minutes. If it's not done by then, we're going back. Xiao Yan roared internally. 3,200 meters. 5 minutes silently passed. Xiao Yan noticed his douqi burning fiercely, as if something was drawing it in. This situation could only be due to the power of similar flames. Old bastard! Xiao Yan gritted his teeth. Last 3 minutes. Diving down to 3,300 meters, the illusory golden demon python stopped and began to shed its skin. Initially black, its skin changed to gold as it swam towards the fiery depths, unfazed by the scorching temperatures. Before Xiao Yan could catch his breath, a wave of intense heat hit him. At 3,300 meters deep, he was in a world of molten magma. The area was fiery red, but with the continuous protection of Little Yi's flames, Xiao Yan could barely make out his surroundings. He quickly swam, following the giant snake as it burrowed deeper into the magma. A world of ice and fire. There must be a rare treasure beneath this magma. The Golden Dragon King inside the ring kept a close watch on Xiao Yan's condition, ready to intervene if necessary. Even for a dragon accustomed to diverse realms, the contrast between the icy water above and the fiery world below was astonishing. Xiao Yan, aware of the Golden Dragon King's concern, knew that becoming a strong individual required self-reliance. Relying on others would not make one strong. There are no shortcuts on the path to strength. Stop talking nonsense, just follow the snake. It has lived here for many years and must know this area well. Don't lose it. The Golden Dragon King's tone carried a fervent urgency. Xiao Yan took this advice seriously, even though he was full of questions. Luckily, the snake was very familiar with the terrain and could find the safest routes through the undercurrents, allowing Xiao Yan to smoothly avoid the magma flows. In this fiery world, it seemed there were no other creatures besides the guiding illusory golden demon python. No wonder, as the living conditions here were extremely harsh. If not for the illusory golden demon python, which thrived by consuming magma, other magical beasts, even those as powerful as Do-level tyrants, would not be able to move freely and unaffected in such an environment. Just as Xiao Yan was about to dive into the fiery red magma lake, a burst of milky white flames erupted from within him, enveloping his body completely. Plunge. The body of the illusory golden demon python shot into the magma, splashing fiery red lava around. Hearing this sound, Xiao Yan quickly turned his gaze towards the area of the lava disturbance, but saw no sign of anyone. Where is he? Looking at the scene, which seemed almost as if it had been instantly evaporated, Xiao Yan couldn't help but shout at the Golden Dragon King beside him. Looking at the still and quiet magma lake, the illusory golden demon python that had just dived seemed to have been instantly turned to ash upon contact with the lava, not even emitting a scream. Follow it down. The Golden Dragon King seemed to be pondering something, then instructed Xiao Yan. Heeding the Golden Dragon King's advice, Xiao Yan, controlling the heavenly flames with his soul power to envelop himself, did not hesitate and jumped into the spot where the illusory golden demon python had disappeared. The temperature was indeed high at first, and if Xiao Yan hadn't been conditioned by the heavenly flames and had their protection, he might not have lasted even a minute. Floating in the scorching magma, Xiao Yan watched in amazement as the fiery red lava flowed around him. A large bubble slowly emerged beside him and then burst with a bang, splattering some magma on Xiao Yan's face, which was quickly absorbed by the layer of milky white flames. Following the path the illusory golden demon python had taken for a few minutes, a separate space appeared. There's even a hidden world beneath the earth. Xiao Yan stared ahead in surprise. Before Xiao Yan's eyes was no longer the high temperature of molten lava, but rather a quiet, small world. The sound of dripping water and mysterious steps leading somewhere gave an eerie, shivering sensation. The illusory golden demon python didn't look back as it darted away, signaling to Xiao Yan that this place seemed fatally threatening to it. "Master, what is this?" Xiao Yan asked with some concern. "Let's go. This is the place," replied the Golden Dragon King. Xiao Yan, carrying the ancient ruler of heavenly flames, proceeded up the steps with the soul of the Golden Dragon King perched on his shoulder. "According to what Yuru said, this should be the crescent jade fruit," Xiao Yan noted, spotting a fruit tree in front of him and unhesitatingly collecting all its fruits. "This is not even the most precious thing yet." "Keep going," said the Golden Dragon King. Step by step, minute by minute, a pure white light enveloped the gray silence, and as Xiao Yan concentrated, he faintly saw a pink flower, gracefully standing within the white light. The seven-colored healing flame flower? Xiao Yan glimpsed the azure flower when the Golden Dragon King, surprised and delighted, suddenly exclaimed in his mind, "The seven-colored healing flame flower. It is said that this flower only blooms in the purest places between heaven and earth, and can only be tamed by someone of true heart, and even then, only with the blood of the angelic clan," the Golden Dragon King explained. The seven-colored healing flame flower, divided into 7 colors, is rumored to be one of the angelic clan's treasures. It is said to have the power to revive the dead and mend bones, though whether this is true remains unknown. The Golden Dragon King observed the pink flower. "Master, have we found it?" Xiao Yan listened eagerly to the Golden Dragon King, thrilled to have so easily found such a precious treasure. It seems so. It's unexpected to encounter it here, but perhaps it's also a kind of fate. After all, it seems Qing Yuan will be the lucky one." The Golden Dragon King's eyes twinkled mischievously. "Shall we go and see?" Xiao Yan took a deep breath to calm his excitement, not paying too much attention to what his master had said. "Let's go, and I'll keep an eye on any changes around us," the Golden Dragon King cautioned carefully.